Good evening and welcome everyone. City Council is now in session. Before we proceed, please be advised that Council Member Butler Barlow will not be present this evening and has been excused. With that being said, at this time, please stand for the invocation by Council Member John Rector, which will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Let us pray. We thank you for the opportunity to gather this evening in your presence to serve the citizens of this great city of Suffolk that we are all proud to call home. Help us as we navigate our way through issues that are before us this evening. We choose to look at matters that have the potential to divide us more as opportunities for solutions that will bring us together. As we watch events unfold around the world, we are reminded of just how fortunate we are to live in this country. Separated by oceans, we remain for the most part untouched by the wars and violence that seem to encompass so much of the rest of the planet. We may live in troubled times, but troubled times have been with us in the past and will be with us in the future. Let us give thanks to our first responders who put their lives on the line on a daily basis to keep us safe. It is through their efforts and sacrifices that we can rest safely in our homes and on our streets, in the full knowledge that should we need them, they will be there. Just a few hours ago in this very chamber, 17 new police officers had their badges pinned on them. We ask for your guidance on these new officers as they begin their journeys and also on their families. Protect them as they go about their sworn duty to protect us. As we prepare to celebrate both Juneteenth and the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, let us reflect on the fact that while our history is not perfect, we are united in our efforts to continue to make this a more perfect union and the place where people come from all over the world to seek the freedoms and the opportunities that this great country offers. Let me close with quotes from both Martin Luther King Jr. and then Thomas Jefferson. Though spoken many generations apart, they echo the same thoughts. From Dr. King, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And then from Thomas Jefferson, we must unite with one heart and with one mind and restore to social intercourse that harmony and affection without which liberty and even life itself are but dreary things. All this we ask in your name. Amen.
The Freedom of Information Act certification is required at this time. Madam Clerk, please present the resolution for consideration.
A resolution certifying the closed meeting of June the 17th, 2026, pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-37, is presented at this time. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Suffolk hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of Virginia law, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the City Council of the City of Suffolk in the closed meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, a motion would be in order. Council, what's your pleasure? Councilmember Williams.
Move to approve.
Got a motion for approval from Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Johnson.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Johnson. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, council members prepare to vote. Please cast your vote. Madam Clerk, please record the vote.
Councilmember Bennett? Yes. Councilmember Johnson? Yes. Councilmember Rector? Yes. Councilmember Williams? Yes. Councilmember Wright? Yes. Vice Mayor Ward? Yes. Mayor Duman?
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
We now move to approval of the minutes from the March 4th and March 18th, 2026 work session and regular meeting. And a motion would be in order. Council? We'll get there. Councilmember Williams.
Move for approval.
A motion for approval from Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Bennett.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Bennett. Any discussion of the motion? Hearing none. Council members prepare to vote. We'll try it again. Please cast your vote.
Councilmember Bennett? Councilmember Johnson? Councilmember Rector? Councilmember Williams? Councilmember Wright? Vice Mayor Ward? Mayor Duman?
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
We do have one special presentation this evening, which is a proclamation in recognition of National Elder Adult Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. Mr. Manager, please provide an overview.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, June marks and recognizes Elder Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. Joining us this evening from the Department of Social Services is Harry Cromer, Director, Toya Taylor, Assistant Director of Services, and department team members, as well as committee members, to accept the proclamation.
Madam Clerk, will you please read the proclamation?
Whereas, after a lifetime of contributions to their families and communities, older adults in Suffolk deserve to live out their days in health and security. And whereas our elders deserve to be recognized as mentors, volunteers, and important members of Suffolk. And whereas older adult abuse survivors are our friends, neighbors, parents, grandparents, and loved ones. And whereas it is our collective responsibility to ensure they live safely and with dignity. And whereas elder abuse is an ever-increasing issue in our society that crosses all cultures and socio-economic boundaries. And whereas preventing abuse, neglect, and exploitation of older adults will improve their quality of life and allow them to continue contributing to the vibrancy of Suffolk. Now therefore I, Michael D. Duman, Mayor of the City of Suffolk, do hereby proclaim June 2026 as Elder Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month and call upon our citizens to recognize this month by working to improve the quality of life for all older adults. In witness whereof, I've hereunto set my hand and caused my seal of the City of Suffolk to be affixed this 17th day of June in the year of our Lord 2026.
You can start on this side. Do it now. Harry's run this show.
Distinguished Mayor, Honorable Vice Mayor, council members, city manager, and staff. You know, it's a pleasure for me to be here tonight to accept this proclamation on behalf of the department, because I think it's very important that we as individuals, not just citizens of Suffolk, but we as individuals recognize the importance of adult abuse that really happens sometimes more often than we really realize. Not only we are in the business of protecting children, we are also in the business of protecting adults. Now, I have with me tonight Ms. Deanna Butler, who is the Services Program Manager, which is going to give you some more insight of why it's very important that we never forget the elders within our communities. Because guess what? They too need to be protected and served and have available resources to make sure that they can live a life that is, I will say, oh, I can't go there, but live a life, a very good life. Ms. Butler?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Mr. Manager, members of the council, all distinguished guests. Hello again. It is the third time we have been in front of you all within the last 3 months, and every time it is a pleasure to be able to shed the light on the work that we do at Suffolk Department of Social Services. Of course, this month we are highlighting elder abuse and awareness. And I think I can speak for everyone that is standing up here as well as for my team. It is something that is true and dear to our hearts. It is something that is highly hidden. It is something that is silenced. It is something that people turn a blank eye to. And it's something that people don't talk about. And so I am so appreciative that you are giving us this opportunity to continue to raise awareness. Since we were before you last year, June 2025, we have received 695 more valid reports of abuse or neglect. 695. It is something that is deeply here in Suffolk. And we have an amazing team that is out in the community every single day to make sure that our elder community have someone that is there to support them. A lot of our seniors are isolated in the home. They are their families may be in the military and they're across the country. They don't know who to call. But I'm here today, and I ask that you guys rally around the departments to continue to raise awareness, to continue to support our elders. Please check on your elder neighbors. Check on your elder family members. If they are in need of help, please call us. We are here to educate. We are here to advocate. We are here to support and provide resources. I want to thank our amazing team. They did go down to sit back down. I want to thank our amazing team. They are so committed to the work that we do. They are absolutely committed. The thing that is different about adult protective services and child protective services is adults can decline services. They have the right to make a bad decision if they want to. And that is the hard part of our job, but they stay committed and they stay dedicated every single day. So I want to thank them for their very hard work. We have a new adult program supervisor, Ms. Scott. So we are so thankful for her expertise in joining our Suffolk team. Again, I want to thank you on behalf of our department for all 3 months that we've been in front of you, for all of the awareness, all of the support, all of the proclamations. It does not go unnoticed, and we thank you for your support. Thank you.
Okay, we'll now move to our consent agenda. Since there's only one item on the consent agenda tonight, a motion would be in order to adopt that agenda as presented. And what is the pleasure of council? Councilmember Johnson?
So move.
Got a motion for approval from Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Wright?
Second.
Second from Councilmember Wright. Any discussion of the motion? If not, council members prepare to vote.
Mayor, I'm going to do roll
We
call
just
for the
gonna
remainder of the
Just
meeting.
squash it for the rest of the night.
Councilmember Bennett? Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Rector? Yes. Councilmember Williams? Yes. Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ward? Yes. Mayor Duman?
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
Madam Clerk, do we have any agenda speakers tonight?
No, Mayor Duman.
With that being said, please present the consent agenda for consideration.
Consent agenda item number 7, an ordinance to accept and appropriate funds from the Commonwealth of Virginia Department of Aviation for the third phase power project at the Suffolk Executive Airport.
Mr. Manager, please provide an overview.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, the city has received $165,118.19 in funding from the Commonwealth of Virginia Department of Aviation in support of the Suffolk Executive Airport three-phase power project. The funding will be used to install a three-phase power supply for future commercial hangars. Adoption of the ordinance will increase the planned revenues and expenditures of the capital fund budget by $165,118.19 and requires local fund support in the amount of $8,690.43, which is provided for in the fiscal year 25-26 aviation fund budget.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. If there are no questions about the item, a motion would be in order to approve the consent agenda as presented. Councilmember Williams?
Move to approve.
A motion for approval of Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Wright?
Second.
Second from Councilmember Wright. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett? Councilmember Johnson? Councilmember Rector? Councilmember Williams?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright? Vice Mayor Ward? Mayor Duman?
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
We'll now move to public hearings. Our first public hearing is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a lease for hangar number 9 and 1.75 acres at the Suffolk Executive Airport with Skydive Suffolk Training Center LLC for a term of 5 years or less. Mr. Manager, please provide the overview.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, Janet Days, Director of Economic Development, will provide the overview.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, Mr. Manager. This public hearing item is proposed one-year lease agreement between the City of Suffolk and Skydive Suffolk Training Center LLC. On February 20th of 2026, the city advertised an invitation for bid for tenants for hangar number 9. Skydive Suffolk Training Center LLC was the only respondent and offered lease terms of the amount of $2,350 per month. The lease is for box hangar number 9, along with approximately 1.75 acres of property located east of hangar 9 at Suffolk Executive Airport. Skydive Suffolk Training Center LLC conducts aviation-related business activities, including skydiving operations, education, and equipment sales. The premises include approximately 8,000 square feet of total hangar space. That includes 6,400 square feet of hangar space and 1,600 square feet of office lean-to space. This slide provides a visual reference of the lease area at Suffolk Executive Airport. The area identified includes hangar 9, as well as approximately 1.75 acres located adjacent to and east of the hangar. This visual helps show the relationship between the hangar, the supporting ramp area, and the additional land included in the proposed lease. The proposed lease term begins May 1st, 2026, and ends April 30th, 2027. Following the initial one-term lease, the lease may be renewed for 4 additional one-year terms. Any future rental rate would be determined by the city. And the agreement also provides flexibility for both parties, as either party may terminate the lease with 30 days written notice. As previously mentioned, the monthly rent is $2,350 due in advance on the first day of each month, and the required security deposit is equal to 1 month's rent of $2,350. The lease limits the use of the premises to approved aviation activities consistent with the purpose and operations of Suffolk Executive Airport. The premises may not be subleased, which ensures the city maintains oversight and control over who is operating from the leased property. The lease includes provisions for termination and default, giving the city a remedy if lease terms are not met, and the agreement further addresses utilities and authorizes the city manager to execute the lease on behalf of the city if approved by City Council. The recommendation before the City Council is to adopt the ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into this lease agreement with Skydive Suffolk Training Center LLC. This lease supports the continued productive use of airport property, maintains aviation-related activity at Suffolk Executive Airport, and provides a clear agreement outlining the leasee's responsibilities, rental terms, insurance requirements, and operational restrictions. And staff recommends approval. Mr. Mayor, any questions?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Days. Before we open the public hearing, Madam Clerk, will you please explain the timing system?
This is a public hearing, and each speaker is asked to provide their name and their address and will receive 3 minutes to offer their comments.
This is a public hearing. Will the first speaker please come forward and provide their name and address?
Mr. Mayor, City Council, Mike, Manthe, Laura Manthe. Our address is 5008 Gardner Lane, Suffolk, Virginia. We are the owner-operators of Skydive Suffolk, and we look forward to a continued growth with the city and a continued partnership with the city in aviation and many other endeavors.
Okay, you want me to jump in? Sure. I let him talk a little bit. Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Mr. Hughes, City Council. My name is Laura Manthe. I am the owner of Skydive Suffolk Training Center. And in the last, I didn't want to go all the way back to 2013. Oh, I forgot John Rector, our favorite skydiving city councilman. Only one I know that's been skydiving. We only went back in the last 5 years just to show our history with the city, and we've performed over 75,000 skydives in the last 5 years. Donated over $50,000 in goods and services in the Hampton Roads area, not just within Suffolk. Established a full-service parachute rigging loft certified by the FAA for maintenance and repairs on skydiving gear and pilot bailout rigs, so outside of the skydiving industry. We are in process to become a vendor through the Veterans Administration to help veterans transition into learning to become FAA senior parachute riggers. Also, kind of a more exciting thing we've been working on for a few years is establishing an air therapy program. We, as a lot of you know, for the past 10 years, we have a Jump for a Purpose program that we take combat wounded veterans and Gold Star family members skydiving at no cost to them. And in the last 5 years, we've taken over 150 active duty veterans and Gold Star family members skydiving, no cost to them. So I could say a lot more, but I know I have a time limit. So I think Mike and I really look forward to establishing that program a little more solidly and not doing it just once a year, but having it available to veterans that are at risk when they need it, not one weekend a year. So always happy for you to visit, have questions, see what we do, maybe jump out of a plane. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We have our next speaker, please. Do we have anyone else present who would like to speak to this ordinance? Hearing none, this public hearing is now closed. Council, an ordinance has been presented for your consideration. What's your pleasure, Councilmember Rector?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will admit to having jumped out of one of their perfectly good airplanes. It's an experience, to be honest with you, that I would recommend everybody trying at least once. Well, try it. I mean, that's all I got to say. But anyhow, you know, Suffolk Skydive does a lot of good stuff out there, and as they said, the number of people that have gone up there and jumped out of their perfectly good airplanes is an astounding number, and the outreach services that they provide to veterans and other groups, I think puts a little stamp of notoriety on their operation and also for the city of Suffolk. So with that, I'll make a recommendation for approval.
We get a motion for approval from Councilman Rector. Councilmember Wright.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Wright. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Rector. Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Wright. Vice Mayor Ward. Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
Our next public hearing is an ordinance, excuse me, authorizing the city manager to enter into a lease for approximately 93 acres of city property located on Kings Highway in the Chuckatuck Borough of Suffolk for farming purposes for a term of 5 years or less. Mr. Manager, please provide the overview.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, Mark Furlow, Director of Parks and Recreation, will provide the overview.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. My name is Mark Furlow. I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation. We are intending, the city intends to lease out approximately 95 acres of property that's we're referring to as the future Long Acre Park. An RFP was issued on May 8th. The term of the lease would be from July 1, 2026 to June 30th, 2027, with option to renew for one additional term. Longacre Park is a 95-acre parcel of land located in the Chuckatuck Borough of on Kings Highway. The property was donated to the city in 2025 by the family of Sam Glasscock for the purpose of creating a regional park. That park is currently under design, the first phase. The city received one bid from Philip Edwards Farm LLC. Staff is recommending approval of the attached ordinance, and I will be available for questions at the conclusion of the public hearing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Fuller. Before we open the public hearing, Madam Clerk, could you please explain the timing system?
This is a public hearing, and each speaker is asked to provide their name and their address and will receive 3 minutes to offer their comments.
This is a public hearing. Will the first speaker please come forward and provide their name and address? Do we have anyone present who would like to speak to this ordinance? Hearing none, this public hearing is now closed. Council, an ordinance has been presented for your consideration. Councilmember Bennett.
Move for approval.
A motion for approval from Councilmember Bennett. Councilmember Johnson.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Johnson. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Rector. Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Wright. Vice Mayor Ward.
Yes.
Mayor Dooman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
Our next public hearing is an ordinance to rezone and amend the official zoning map of the city of Suffolk to change the zoning from M1 Light Industrial Conditional Zoning District to O&I Office Institutional Conditional Zoning District for property located at 1000 Filmway, zoning map 26F, parcel 1A*1A*A, account number 254000104. This is RZN 2025-10. Mr. Manager, please provide the overview.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, public hearing items 10 and 11 are companion proposals. We will hold 2 public hearings, but Kevin Wine, Director of Planning and Community Development, will present one presentation covering both items 10 and 11.
Thank you, Mr. Manager, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. As the manager stated, public hearing items 10 and 11 are companion items. As is occasion from time to time, we receive a rezoning and that would allow for consideration of an associated conditional use permit, and thus is the case as it relates to the Mount Lebanon Missionary Baptist Church proposed here at 1000 Film Way. The rezoning would allow for the property to be rezoned from its current designation of M1, that is our light industrial zoning district, and it would reclassify it to O&I Office Institutional Conditional zoning district, and that would allow for the consideration of a conditional use permit for a place of worship large, greater than 6,000 square feet in the main sanctuary. The property is located at 1000 Film Way. This is the property that you may know as the former New Dominion Pictures studio site. The site is approximately 6 acres in size and contains the remnants of what was the New Dominion Film Studios, as well as a larger 27,000 square foot building. So here we have a superimposed site plan on what is the site in its entirety. You can see the proposed church would be the existing building, and then you have the kind of outside studio area and parking lot that would be repurposed, but limited land disturbance that would allow them to utilize what spaces are out there to utilize in support of the proposed church use. The sanctuary in this case is large. We worked quite closely with the applicant based on existing site conditions to ensure that the number of seats provided were going to be in alignment with what parking could be provided and served in the existing parking area without having to get too involved from a site development plan perspective. As such, the limitation on the number of seats in the main sanctuary would be 256 as proposed by the applicant, and there would be sufficient parking available on site to serve those seats as proposed. The site is designated for a land use designation in the 2045 Comprehensive Plan for office institutional use. That does differ from its existing zoning district of M1. That was something that we looked at closely as we refined our land use designation process in the update of the comprehensive plan, and looking at a property that was zoned M1 and trying to look at what would be more compatible use types when you look at the existing land use pattern. As such, looking at some adjacent properties here, you see O&I uses in the area. We thought O&I would be appropriate moving forward. This is a conditional rezoning, meaning that we have been provided a proffer statement in association with what they are requesting. In this case, the proffer statement outlines some uses that are permitted as a matter of right in the O&I zoning district. Sometimes we call this proffering out certain uses that are more impactful. In this case, it's not fully proffering them out, but these by right uses would instead, should you all elect to approve this rezoning request, require a conditional use permit for several of the more impactful uses, to include a hotel and a motel, college or university, medical or general hospitals, schools, boarding, and I think most importantly here, flex space, which can look and feel quite industrial. So as it relates to both of these applications, both the CUP and the rezoning, the CUP obviously being contingent on your approval of the rezoning, staff's reviewed them in accordance with the 2045 Comprehensive Plan, as well as the Unified Development Ordinance. We believe that the proposed zoning is more compliant with the comprehensive plan than the existing M1 zoning, and we are recommending the rezoning be approved to allow this site to be rezoned to O&I, office institutional conditional, with those proffers as noted. Additionally, in our review of the conditional use permit, we believe that the application sufficiently satisfies the criteria as outlined within the UDO as it relates to consideration of conditional uses within the city of Suffolk, and we are recommending approval of that application as well. At the Planning Commission's meeting on May 21st, they considered both applications, and they have forwarded both of them to you all this evening with their recommendation of approval by a vote of 7-0. That concludes my presentation on this item. I'll be happy to stand by at the conclusion of the public hearing should you have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Wine. Before we open the public hearing, Madam Clerk, will you please explain the timing system?
This is a public hearing, and each speaker is asked to provide their name and their address. We will have a 10-minute period for the proponents, a 15-minute period for those in opposition, and then an additional 5 minutes for rebuttal.
This is a public hearing. Will the first speaker please come forward and provide their name and address, and that is to speak in favor of this ordinance.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of City Council, and staff. My name is Grady Palmer. My business address, 222 Central Park Avenue in the city of Virginia Beach, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be here tonight representing the Mount. For the last several years, the Mount Suffolk has operated their church in Kings Fork High School, and they are really excited about the opportunity to find their new home on Film Way, provided that the council approves the rezoning and conditional use permit to do that. I won't take up a lot of time. I think in technical terms, this is a no-brainer for the rezoning and the conditional use permit. We are here for questions if you have them, but I will stand by and let others speak if they're available. But I do ask for your approval of the rezoning and the conditional use permit tonight. Thank you.
I think we have our next speaker to speak in favor.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council members, City Manager, and all the distinguished guests. My name is Carl Wilkins, and I reside at 1602 Gunston Drive. Tonight, I stand here as the senior site pastor of the Mount at Suffolk, seeking your approval for a conditional use permit. Years ago, growing up as a little boy in this city, my father used to wake us up at 4 o'clock in the morning and prepare us to go out and clean the community. I had no idea that that was training me for what it is that I am called to do on this day. Following that, as I journeyed through high school, I ended up becoming a barber. And I served this community for over 32 years as a barber. And I continue to serve as a barber instructor for the city of Portsmouth. Tonight, I stand here not only as a pastor, but I stand here as someone who was born and raised in this city. This community has shaped me, educated me, invested in me, and provided me opportunities that have helped me to become the person that I am today. And because of that, I have always felt a responsibility to give back to this city, the city that has given so much to me. For many years, I have had the privilege of serving our community through business partnerships, mentoring, partnership with law enforcement, with people from all walks of life. 1000 Film Way is more than just a building. It is a platform that allows us to tell stories, create opportunities, support local initiatives, and bring people together creatively and to positively impact the community. Granting this conditional use permit will allow us to continue to serve residents of every ethnicity, background, culture, age, and socioeconomic status. Our mission is simple. We believe that church is supposed to change lives. So with the conditional use permit, it'll help us to serve humanity. In conclusion, education and community development. We believe in creating a space where people can connect, learn, grow, and be inspired. So as a lifelong citizen, a taxpayer, a community partner, and a pastor, I am committed to operating responsibly and continue to contribute positively to this city. I respectfully ask you to support and approve this so that we may continue to work and expand the ability to serve others. Thank you for your time and consideration and your commitment in making this city a place where businesses and communities can thrive together. So I appreciate your support and respectively ask your favorable considerations in this request. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have our next speaker to speak in favor of this ordinance.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name is Dwight James. I reside at 211 Linden Avenue, Suffolk, Virginia. Today, I'm speaking in support of the Mounts conditional use permit request. Churches provide more than worship services. They provide mentorship, community outreach, food assistance, youth programs, counseling, and a gathering place for many families. As someone who has dedicated much of my life mentoring young people and serving our community, I understand the value organizations like this bring to Suffolk. Pastor Carl Wilkins and the Mount have demonstrated a commitment to serving our community beyond the walls of the church. Last year, Pastor Wilkins organized a community effort to renovate the home of an elderly Suffolk couple facing serious health challenges, bring together volunteers, businesses, and community partners to make a meaningful difference in their lives. His service and to others was recognized by WTKR3 when he was named an everyday hero for his leadership and compassion. As long as the staff has confirmed that the parking, the traffic, and the safety requirements have been addressed, I believe this request is compatible with the surrounding area and will have a positive impact on our community. I respectfully ask City Council to approve this request today. Thank you.
Thank you. We have our next speaker, please, in favor of this ordinance.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council. My name is Anissa Davis, address 20823 Rosler Court in Lexington Park, Maryland. I am a partner at the Mount at Suffolk and have been for the last 4 years. I'm also a leader And many have asked why I travel 3.5 hours each week to attend the Mount at Suffolk. And it's quite simple. Church is supposed to change lives. And we do that daily. We are not just a Sunday serving ministry, but we are in the vineyard changing lives. And we believe that we need a homestead that allow us, number one, to continue the work that we're doing, but number two, to be planted in a community that we're already serving, and number three, to do even greater works. Each one of us will leave here tonight and go to our place called home. Well, that is what Mount Suffolk desires, a place to call home. And we believe 1000 Film Way is our place to call home. And so we respectfully ask that you will approve our place to call home. Thank you.
Thank you. We have our next speaker, please.
Good evening, Mayor Duman, City Manager, and members of council. My name is Kusi Hamlin. I live at 121 Lakes Edge Drive, Suffolk, and I am the founder and CEO of Kalamu Community Outreach and a resident of Suffolk since 2009. I'm here in support of the Mount of Suffolk, led by Pastor Carl Wilkins, and I've known him since 2017 through National Night Out Suffolk Oversea event. Thanks to his congregation's commitment, that event has become what it is today. My experience with the Mount at Suffolk goes well beyond one event a year. I've watched them on project after project in this community, and what I see consistently is real, lasting change. Their tagline is, "Church is supposed to change lives." That's not a slogan for them. It's a standard they live by. Approving this motion puts an underutilized property back into active, purposeful use in the hands of a leader and congregation that have already proven their investment in Suffolk. I respectfully urge the council's approval. Thank you.
Thank you. We have our next speaker, please, to speak in favor.
Good evening, Mayor Duman, City Council members, City Manager. My name is Karima Lockwood. I live at 100 Farron Drive in Suffolk. I have been a resident of Suffolk for the past 20 years and proudly called Chuckatuck home for the past 11 years. I am here tonight to support the Mount Suffolk's request to occupy the building at 1000 Film Way. What makes the Mount Suffolk unique is that the ministry has never been defined by a building. Our mission has been simple: to invest in the residents in Suffolk by meeting real needs or creating opportunities, meaningful opportunities throughout our community. Many of you may already be familiar with some of the work that the Mount has done, as you've heard from those before me. But maybe you've heard about Operation Legacy, where we honored and inspired student athletes, not only in Suffolk, but across Hampton Roads. I believe we're up to 500 students so far, and about 10 or more high schools. Or maybe you've heard about Promise or the Dream Center Special Needs Basketball Tournament, which created unforgettable experiences for individuals with special needs and their families, so they too can have the opportunity to see what prom is all about with their peers or even play on a sports team. You have maybe seen on the local news, as the gentleman before me mentioned, the project that transformed the living conditions of a senior citizen who was facing significant health challenges. And I say all of these things to say that these are not just promotional moments or one-time events, but this is who we are as a local church body. For years, Pastor Carl and Dr. Lady Jessica have always challenged us as a local body to dream big, to serve boldly, and to invest in people. And that has resulted in countless of volunteer hours, partnerships strengthened, and lives literally being changed across the community. So the building that's on your agenda tonight before you is more than just a new church facility for us. It is actually going to be our headquarters if you all approve. It will be for ministry, service, mentorship, outreach, and community engagement. It would allow us to expand the work that we're already doing in the community and increase our capacity to continue to serve the residents in Suffolk. And as somebody who has witnessed personally, firsthand, the impact that this ministry has had on individuals, students, senior citizens, families, I respectfully ask for your support to approve the vote for us to occupy 1000 Film Way. I thank you for your time tonight. I thank you for your service, and thank you for the consideration.
Thank you. That concludes our time for the proponents. We'll now move into our 15 minutes allowed for opposition. Is there anyone present who would like to speak in opposition to this ordinance? Is there anyone present who would like to speak in opposition? If not, there is a 5-minute rebuttal period. If the proponents would like to avail themselves of that time, we could make it available. And if not, I will call for a vote.
We have to close the public hearing.
The public hearing is now closed. Council, ordinance is presented for your approval. Councilmember Williams.
Your Honor, Mayor, to Pastor Carr and to the Mount, it's evident what you provide for our community and for your church. I've known you for years, and I think this is a great thing. Your dream is coming true because I am 110% behind, and I'm glad to move that we approve this motion. Thank you.
Motion for approval, Vice Mayor Ward.
A second.
Second from Vice Mayor Ward. Any discussion of the motion? Councilmember Wright.
I was actually hoping to make the motion, but I just wanted to say that I am delighted to be sitting on this dais for this occasion. I will say to the Mountain, the work that you have done has spoken for you. And that's all I'm really going to say. I'm going to say you've been faithful over a few things, and I believe that God is going to make you ruler over many. And so I'm ready to vote whenever everyone else is done with their comments. Thank you.
Councilmember Bennett.
Thank you. I would also like to echo, I've known the Wilkins family, and I've known some people in the Mount for a long time, and I know the work that you all have done in the city of Suffolk and what you've done for so many young men and trying to change their lives and trying to get them more encouraged in working together and not getting in trouble. So I can't congratulate you enough for what you're doing and what you continue to do. And I think everyone up here just about wanted to make the motion. But only one person can make a motion, and one person can make a second. So with that, when the vote comes, we'll find out who all want to make the motions.
Councilmember Rector.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to echo some of the sentiments. Churches that are active in their community are great extensions not only of that community in which they serve, but they're an extension of the family. And for the city, they're an extension of a lot of the services that the city provides. They help with the social services, they help with the schools, they help with Parks and Rec, they help with a lot of different organizations within the city. So active churches like the Mount are very much an asset to the community in which they serve and to the city as a whole. So with that, I will enthusiastically support the motion.
Councilmember Johnson.
And I'll just add that this is the last thing we need in Hill Point. Thank you, guys. We are so pleased to say yes.
Council, any other discussion before I call for the vote? If not, I'll be very brief. My counterparts have basically said it all. But what I want to say is thank you for your investment. Thank you for the efforts that you have already put forward to make making the city of Suffolk the great city it is, and for your continued efforts that you're going to put forward in the future. So with that being said, at this time, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett? Yes. Councilmember Johnson? Yes. Councilmember Rector? Yes. Councilmember Williams? Councilmember Wright? Vice Mayor Ward?
Yes.
Mayor Duman?
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
Okay, so our next public hearing is a companion to the ordinance that we just passed, which that ordinance provided the zoning to allow for the conditional use permit that we're going to consider at this time. So there will not be another staff presentation, but there will be a public hearing if anyone would like to come out to speak. And it is an ordinance to grant a conditional use permit to establish a place of worship large, at least 6,000 square feet in the main sanctuary, on property located at 1,000 Filmway, zoning map 26F, parcel 1A*1A*A, account number 254-001-041. This is CUP 2025-21. Before we open the public hearing, Madam Clerk, will you please explain the timing system?
This is a public hearing, and each speaker is asked to provide their name and their address. We will have a 10-minute period for the proponents, a 15-minute period for those in opposition, and then an additional 5-minute period for rebuttal.
This is a public hearing. Will the first speaker please come forward and provide their name and address?
Again, for the record, my name is Grady Palmer. My business address, 222 Central Park Avenue in the city of Virginia Beach. And I just want to say, on behalf of the Mount Suffolk, we just want to say thank you for approving the rezoning, and we ask that you do the same for the conditional use permit. Thank you.
Is there anyone else present who would like to speak in favor? Hearing none, is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition? Hearing none, this public hearing is now closed. Council, an ordinance has been presented for your consideration. Councilmember Bennett.
Move for approval.
Got a motion for approval. Councilmember Bennett. Councilmember Williams.
Second it.
Second from Councilmember Williams. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Councilmembers, oh, I'm sorry. Wait, hit again, Councilmember Wright.
Oh, no.
I'll get, well, Councilmember, Vice Mayor Ward.
Well, the first time I knew it was 2 votes, so I wanted to wait. And me and Mr. Wilkins called. He used to cut my hair years ago. And then when I first came, being involved in a lot of things in Suffolk, and me and his conversation was always in the fact about Suffolk. And he would share with me and always wanted to know what can he do better or help the people of Suffolk. So like I said, we had always had great conversation when he's cut my hair, and he always seemed to be very interested and had good foundation. So Carl, you know how I feel. You came to me and I said, make it happen, and I know you'll do a great job. You had like you've been doing already. You know, I look at afar, and I always tell you how the truth, how I feel about it, and you know how I feel about you and your family. God bless you.
Council, any other questions or comments? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett? Yes. Councilmember Johnson? Yes. Councilmember Rector? Yes. Councilmember Williams? Yes. Councilmember Wright? Yes. Vice Mayor Ward? Yes. Mayor Duman?
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
Our next public hearing is an ordinance to amend Section 31-406C and Appendix A of the Unified Development Ordinance of the City of Suffolk. It's OTA 2026-4. Mr. Manager, please provide an overview.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, the City Council continues to make progress on the downtown master plan. As you're aware, one of the recommendations included the establishment of the Arts District, now known as the Watch District. This now offers opportunities for business development in our downtown. Staff has been working with the Downtown Advisory Committee to introduce new land uses for our downtown. Mr. Kevin Wine, Director of Planning and Community Development, will provide additional information and an overview.
Thank you again, Mr. Manager, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. This is an exciting ordinance text amendment to bring to you all this evening. As we look to that foundation that, going back to 2018, the downtown master plan set for moments like this was updated in 2021, and more recently, back in October, you all established the Arts and Cultural District downtown. We have a very diverse downtown area. It consists of many, many different zoning districts, and in pursuit of the purpose established in that Arts and Cultural District, of which includes, pursuing creative enterprises, stimulating economic development through the creative economy, complementary businesses, and enhancing the city's cultural identity. We are presenting to you all this evening one of the larger UDO use table amendments that I can recall bringing to you all. So moving forward, I'll be a little bit more brief than that, but we are introducing several uses and defining them in the UDO that do not exist currently, and/or we've worked closely with the Downtown Advisory Committee, as well as Lisa Bleakley, downtown manager, to identify what would be appropriate in the downtown area that you may not be able to do today. So going back to that downtown master plan, we identified what that downtown influence area was, and I recall being a part of that plan process. Many different folks have many different ideas of what that downtown influence area is, but here we have it as adopted in the downtown master plan, and you can see the many different zoning districts that it is comprised of. Not only is it a large portion of it CBD, that's our central business district, that is what you would associate traditionally with those downtown businesses, but a big chunk of it also is M2, M2 or M1. There are a lot of industrial uses that exist in the downtown area, and those are just a part of downtown as the CBD is. So we often look at this UDO, dating back to 1999 when it was adopted, and I joke with our staff, when we want certain uses to be defined in the code, they're not for whatever reason, and oftentimes we'll identify a use as permitted in our use table, and there's no definition associated with it. So we're doing some cleanup with this as well tonight, but we're focusing on the uses on your screen here: microbrewery, microdistillery, microwinery, microcidery, micromeadery, a bunch of different ways to talk about manufacturing of alcohol in small portions. Brewery, distillery, winery, cidery, meadery, live entertainment after 10 p.m., arts, crafts, boutique and artisan workshop, custom manufacturing, motion picture and video production, theater, sound recording studios and other sound recording facilities, research and development offices, and business incubator, enterprise center, and business accelerator. These are uses that, if they're not defined currently, we are defining them in the UDO. Additionally, if they're not in our use table, we have included them within our use table and identified what districts they would be appropriate in. So what does this look like in a code form? Here we have the microbrewery example: microbrewery, microdistillery, microwinery, microcidery, micromeadery. And we've defined what that is in looking at resources available, the industry standards for identifying and defining uses of this type. And we've zeroed in on where they should be permitted, including areas outside of downtown, but a big focus on that arts and cultural district, and looking at our B1, neighborhood commercial district B2, our VC district, our CBD, and then our M1 and M2, as well as the Fairgrounds Revitalization District. Similar for brewery and distillery uses. Live entertainment after 10 p.m. You all may recall, this is a more recent change we've made to the Unified Development Ordinance. We permit live entertainment indoors in any zoning district throughout the city before 10 p.m. As a matter of right, there are certain zoning districts that you can get a conditional use permit to have live entertainment either outdoors or indoors after 10 p.m. With a conditional use permit. But there were two zoning districts, particularly part of that downtown area, that were not included as being appropriate for this live entertainment after 10 p.m., and that was the M1 and M2. So considering that we see this type of use operate largely in coordination with some of those microbrewery uses, that we found it to be appropriate if we're allowing those uses in the M1, M2, defining them as such, then it would be appropriate to allow live entertainment to accompany it, obviously with a conditional use permit like in all of our other districts. Here we have the Arts, Craft Boutique, and Artisan Workshop. We would be permitting that by right in our densest residential, more mixed-use districts, including RU24, MUC40, B1, B2, VC, CBD, ONI, as well as the fairgrounds. Custom manufacturing, we would allow that by right in the M2 and with a conditional use permit in our commercial zoning districts across the board. Motion picture and video production, we would allow that with a conditional use permit in our B1 district, permitted by right in B2, VC, conditional use permit, CBD, conditional use permit, O&I, permitted by right, same in the M1 and M2, and in your fairgrounds, that would be a conditional use permit use. Theater, that would, the change here would be allowing that with a conditional use permit in the B1 zoning district. Sound recording studios, this would be a conditional use permit in your B1, B2, permitted by right, VC, conditional use permit in the downtown central business district, that would be permitted by right, same in O&I, M1, M2, and a conditional use permit in the fairgrounds. Research and development offices, the changes here would be permitting it by right in the B1, permitting it by right from a CUP in the B2, permitting it by right from a CUP in the central business district, and the same in the fairgrounds. Business incubator space, this would be a new use, and we would be allowing that by right in the B1, B2, VC, CBD, and O&I districts, and a CUP in the M1 and M2, and a by right in the fairgrounds. I know that was a lot of information. Some of these uses are new, but ultimately this is in pursuit of the goals established within the creation of the Arts and Cultural District, and piggybacks on the foundation built on that master downtown plan that was adopted back in 2018 and amended in 2021. So we believe that these changes align with the guidance received in those documents, and we fully support them and recommend their approval to you all this evening. The Planning Commission at their meeting last month considered these items, and they are bringing them forward to you all this evening with their unanimous recommendation of approval. So that concludes my presentation on this item. I'll be happy to stand by at the conclusion of the public hearing should you have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Wine. Before we open the public hearing, Madam Clerk, will you please explain the timing system?
This is a public hearing, and each speaker is asked to provide their name and address and will receive 3 minutes to offer their comments.
This is a public hearing. Will the first speaker please come forward and provide their name and address?
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Kevin. My name is Brian McCormley. I live at 204 Bank Street So I'm a resident of downtown Suffolk. I also happen to be the chairman of the Downtown Advisory Committee. I would like to express our appreciation, the committee's appreciation, working with the staff in developing this change in the ordinance, incorporating new uses, providing clear definitions, and giving people the opportunity to see what an art and cultural district could become in downtown Suffolk. And we have received nothing but considerable assistance from the staff, and we appreciate it. It's been a lengthy process, and we are now hopefully at the end of the beginning. Thank you.
I think we have our next speaker, please.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, City Manager, and council members. I'm Ed Beardsley. I live at 116 Catherine Street in Suffolk. Also a downtown resident, downtown business owner, member of the DAC group, and one of the founding members of a new nonprofit to support the downtown development and the district development. Of course, I strongly support these changes, and to the UDO, I believe that everything that we're doing is non-exclusionary. We're certainly willing to invite anyone in, but this really helps define who we're hoping to attract. It allows for the clear implementation of incentives, direction of businesses as far as from the nonprofit view, from an economic development view, to what we want to bring in and how we want to define our downtown. And our downtown is Suffolk's downtown. So we want to make sure that it's unique, it's inviting, and it's a place that people want to come to. So I appreciate all the work that everybody's doing to make this happen, and it's exciting to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker, please. Do we have anyone else who would like to speak to this ordinance? Hearing none, this public hearing is now closed. Council, an ordinance has been presented for your consideration. What's your pleasure? Councilmember Rector.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As I guess the council liaison to the Downtown Advisory Committee, I've attended just about all of their meetings, and I'd like to echo the cooperation that has existed between the Downtown Advisory Committee and city staff and our downtown coordinator, Ms. Bleakley. This has been several months, at least, in the making. They chomped at it a little bit at a time to try to make sure that they got it right, and I think they have, and with that, I will make a recommendation for approval.
Okay, we get a motion from Councilman Rector for approval. Councilmember Johnson.
And I'd just like to say it's exciting to be on council at this time because this is the direction we've been looking for. And I think it's great things coming. And thank you. Thank you for this committee for putting it, for it performing exactly as we'd hoped it would perform, and as far as offering this insight. This is just the beginning, I tend to think, rather than, great things are coming. And I'll second, please.
We got a second from Councilmember Johnson. Do we have any other discussion of the motion? Hearing none, before I call for the vote, I also want to compliment, the manager, the staff, Ms. Blakely, and especially the Downtown Advisory Committee for the time and effort that you've put in, and it has not been time and effort wasted because, believe it or not, you think things are moving slowly, but you actually have accomplished a great deal in a short period of time. It's just how the wheels of progress work. But just keep doing what you're doing, and we'll get where we need to be, and we're here to help you. With that being said, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Bennett. Yes. Councilmember Johnson. Yes. Councilmember Rector. Yes. Councilmember Williams. Yes. Councilmember Wright. Yes. Vice Mayor Ward. Yes. Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion's approved by a vote of 7-0.
Okay, our next public hearing is an ordinance to amend Section 31-406C, Section 31-701B13, and Appendix A of the Unified Development Ordinance of the City of Suffolk, Virginia. This is OTA 2026-5. Mr. Manager, please provide the overview.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, Mr. Kevin Wine, Director of Planning and Community Development, will provide the overview.
Thank you, Mr. Manager, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. This is another ordinance text amendment that we're bringing to you all this evening. This one directly reflects legislation that was adopted and signed into law by the governor. At the state level, preempting the city's authority as it relates to accessory dwelling units. And while that's one part of the story, accessory dwelling units have long been identified as a mechanism for broadening the availability of affordable housing across the board in an effort to meet the nationwide housing shortage, if you will. This evening, I'm going to brief you a little bit on our history with ADUs here in the city of Suffolk, but what this would do would be in response to Senate Bill 531 that was signed into law by the governor in April and becomes effective July 1, 2027, would allow for accessory dwelling units to be permitted by right in every zoning district that allows for single-family dwellings by right. And we're trying to get ahead of that on our end here. But first, what is an ADU, just to kind of quash out any potential misconceptions on what they may be. Accessory is the key word here. They're clearly subordinate to the principal dwelling unit, and but at the same time, they do provide complete living, sleeping, sanitation, and cooking facilities that would be suitable for occupancy of at least one person, which may be internal, attached, or detached from the principal dwelling. Through conditional use permits, which is primarily how you all see those in the city, they're usually detached, and we have size limitations that we will continue to be able to implement from a regulatory perspective. But you primarily see those as detached units. ADUs serve a variety of folks, primarily in the city of Suffolk now as defined, and this would be a change. It is an immediate family member. We see these primarily for families that will want to keep their parents, for instance, nearby, their aging parents, or they have a child with a disability who is capable of living on their own, but they still like them close by, so they can still monitor their day-to-day. Currently, we usually condition, and it's in the code now, that it need to be a immediate family member, and they would not be able to rent these units. Those are things that this legislation does change, and I'll get into that in a moment. So the history of ADUs in the city of Suffolk. In 2017, that was the last time we did a comprehensive modification of the UDO as it relates to ADUs, and the big change there was allowing them as a matter of right in the agricultural zoning district and our two rural residential districts, the rural residential RR and the RE zoning districts, as a matter of right. Since 1999, 54 ADUs have been approved by the city of Suffolk. And prior to 2017, all ADUs required a conditional use permit. So we have some pretty comprehensive supplemental use standards in place now, including minimum setbacks, minimum lot size standards, and what have you, as it relates to how big these can be. So accessory dwelling units shall comply with the minimum setback and lot coverage regulations for the principal dwelling unit set forth in the UDO as it relates to our lot dimensional standards, meaning that along with the principal dwelling, the lot coverage, we define those as percentages. So the roof area that you have of all structures on the property will still need to be below that maximum permitted in each of our zoning districts. Supplemental use standards that would be impacted by this. Another one, the occupancy of the dwelling unit. Currently, it shall not exceed one person per 200 feet of gross floor area, and that would be revised to align with the state code provision that would allow for no more than 2 bedrooms. So the accessory dwelling unit shall be comprised of no more than 2 bedrooms. Another supplemental standard that would be changing, a zoning permit issued for compliance by the zoning administrator on an annual basis. That was to ensure that any conditional use permit, or in the case of being permitted by right in some of those less dense zoning districts, we would ensure compliance with our supplemental standards across the board. That would be going away in accordance with this state code provision. Some additional supplemental standards that would have to be revised to accommodate the state code change. Presently, any detached ADU in the Ag, RR, and RE zoning districts on lots less than 1 acre would still require a CUP. Obviously, we cannot require a CUP in any of those districts moving forward. So in reaction to that, we would require that in those districts on lots greater than 4 acres, the ADU shall not be located any further than 400 feet away from the primary structure. Once again, the purpose of this is to ensure that the ADU is clearly accessory to that principal structure. So continuing on with some of these supplemental standard changes, our new supplemental standard would require that a detached accessory dwelling unit must obtain a certificate of occupancy prior to use as a dwelling unit, meaning that you could not build an accessory dwelling in advance of a primary structure. A new supplemental standard, any detached accessory dwelling unit should have a clear, maintained, and unobstructed means of ingress to the public right-of-way. Additional supplemental standard changes, the accessory dwelling unit shall not be offered for rental purposes. That is in our code now. That is something that is impacted by this state code provision. But what we are allowed to regulate is the period of time from a minimum perspective standpoint of rental time. So in this case, the accessory dwelling unit shall not be offered for rental purposes for a period less than 30 days. This would be appropriate. A lot of folks out there do rent month to month. The primary purpose here is to not permit, as they are currently not permitted, short-term rentals in the city of Suffolk. We've not necessarily had a huge issue with that throughout the city, but we wanted to be very clear, as this state code provision allows us to, that although you may be able to rent it, short-term rentals would not be permitted. Another change as it relates to the state code is currently we do require one additional off-street parking space be established for that accessory dwelling unit. The state code prohibits us from requiring any additional parking spaces for the ADU itself. However, in the event that the principal structure is either underserved by parking as it relates to our minimum standards in the UDO now, or is being impacted in any way, we can replenish that parking space. So we do require 2 off-street parking spaces per single-family detached dwelling in the city, and that would remain. So how would this impact our use table? You can see here all the highlighted sections would be changing. A lot of Cs, which require a conditional use permit, would become in Ps. And then you're getting into some of our more dense zoning districts as well. That includes the RC, RU, RU12, and RU18, as well as the VC and the CBD, as well as the fairgrounds zoning districts, where these would be permitted as a matter of right. I think going back to some of those numbers I shared with you at the beginning, we've been permitting these in some fashion since the adoption of the UDO, going back 27 years. And we've only seen 54 of these come through. I think that's pretty telling as to what the impact of this may be. For the city of Suffolk, the majority of our development has occurred after the adoption of the UDO. Most of our homes in the city of Suffolk, the vast majority of them are single-family detached structures in established residential subdivisions. And why that is important is, as it relates to this code change, it does not supersede any covenants and deed restrictions as it relates to HOAs. HOAs largely, if you were developed after 1999, you certainly have an HOA for the maintenance of common area alone. You have a stormwater pond. Someone needs to maintain that once the developer turns it over to the HOA, and that becomes the HOA's responsibility. While we don't review covenants and restrictions as it relates to subdivisions, or they don't require our review. When you record a subdivision in the city of Suffolk, we do require that you provide it to us. And we'll look at them, but we're not going to provide any comments for changes or anything of that nature. It is very common for these covenants and restrictions to prohibit accessory dwellings. And I share that with you because this state code provision would not change that. So with that being said, the vast majority of subdivisions in our city, we wouldn't see accessory dwellings pop up everywhere overnight. So with that being said, I thought that was an important part of this to share with you all this evening. Staff, we're supportive of this. That's why we're bringing it to you a little early here. We believe that it could move the needle a little bit as it relates to our affordable dwelling goals in the comprehensive plan. And as it relates to the Planning Commission, they, at their meeting last month, have recommended their approval of this ordinance by a vote of 7-0. So that concludes my presentation on this item this evening. I'll be happy to stand by at the conclusion of the public hearing.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wine. Before we open the public hearing, Madam Clerk, will you please explain the timing system?
This is a public hearing, and each speaker is asked to provide their name and their address and will receive 3 minutes to offer their comments.
This is a public hearing. Will the first speaker please come forward and provide their name and address? Do we have anyone present who would like to speak to this ordinance? Hearing none, this public hearing is now closed. Council, an ordinance has been presented for your consideration. Councilmember Rector.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Kevin, do you mind coming up to the podium? I've got just a couple of questions. First off, when they changed the, I'm not quite sure what they titled it, but where you can have up to 2 bedrooms. I know that a lot of these accessory dwelling units happen out in the agricultural district where a lot of those houses are not on the city sewer system, but are on septic systems. And I know that septic systems are designed for the number of bedrooms that are in the house that is usually in the main structure. So if we now are going to be defining these accessory dwelling units by the number of bedrooms, does this mean that people are going to have to go back and revise? Will this be reviewed by the health department to make sure that their septic systems can accommodate these number of bedrooms?
Yes, they will require review by the health department. And further, we have a provision that we would remain, that whether you are on septic out there in the ag area, or whether you're doing this closer to, downtown or in North Suffolk, they have to be on the same water meter and sewer meter. There are provisions that would potentially allow for them to be on separate septic systems in the ag area, but like you noted, that would require health department approval.
Okay, and then from having been on the planning commission where a lot of this stuff happened, I know that probably one of the really limiting factors for the number of ADUs that we've seen is the fact that we require them to be for family members primarily, and that you can't rent them. And with those restrictions being lifted, we're probably going to see perhaps a slight uptick. And I guess that's probably the goal of the state ordinance is to make that happen. Would you agree?
That's true. I think the primary limiting factor that's not really discussed is the sheer cost. At this point, it may be a smaller home, but it's still pretty expensive to build essentially what's a secondary home, even if it's going to be for rental income. So, but eliminating some of those provisions would open it up to more folks who have not previously thought about it.
All right, thank you.
Councilmember Bennett?
Kevin, you might have covered this and I might have missed it. On the HOAs, I know they have different restrictions. So will that affect them in any way? Can they still apply without going through the association? How did that work?
So it is not the city's responsibility to enforce the covenants of a private HOA and the property owners within it. That is an agreement between two private individuals. However, it's not uncommon for our department to receive a development project, zoning approval, what have you, for a use that may or may not be prohibited by the HOA. We see this from time to time in commercial property owners associations. In that case, it's incumbent upon the applicant to provide us with all the applicable information. And internally, we're going to have to establish a procedure, particularly for ADUs when we are reviewing them, because they're still subject to our approval, that if you're in a major subdivision with deeds, covenants, and restrictions, that you provide those to us all. And we'll have to talk internally about what our responsibility would be as it relates to state law in approving these. But we certainly don't want to set the city up for approving something that they will not be able to get approval for at their HOA level.
Okay, because that was my real concern with the state saying they can, and being an HOA, they have different, in that HOA, so who gonna override which, that was just my concern.
The state law is pretty clear in this case that the state code legislation does not supersede any existing covenants and restrictions.
Thank you.
Councilmember Johnson?
Well, Kevin, I'd like to applaud the city for going forward with this after we realized the state was going to allow this to go forward anyway, and we kind of got a little bit of a step up on it. I support it. I think that this is with the world we're in today, and with young people getting out of school and not being able to afford apartments, and if families can do things to bring their family members closer to them, I think there's a real market for this. I honestly think that it's a good thing. So with that, I'd like to be the one to propose that we accept it.
Councilmember Wright? a second. So we have a motion for approval from Councilmember Johnson with a second from Councilmember Wright. Is there any further discussion of the motion? Kevin, don't go anywhere yet. I got a question for you. Okay, before we vote, I do have a couple of questions and just maybe a brief statement. When does this go into effect? Is this a July 1st date, or is this one that actually effective date later on?
Should you all elect to approve this this evening, it would go into effect immediately. For us, from a state perspective, Senate Bill 531 becomes effective July 1, 2027, but we would be ahead of that at the local level.
So that's July 1, 2027. Okay, so here's my question. You know, I understand the need for affordable housing. There's no question about it. You know, I've gone on record, I'm going on record again, I seriously object to our state legislators mandating our land use issues and across the Commonwealth. This is not a one-size-fits-all. You know, it does a couple of things. Number one, we just spent two years and 4 months coming up with a comp plan, and overnight they can mandate something that was contrary to the comp plan that we've put in place. There's infrastructure issues that they don't consider. There's very little public participation on anything that comes out of the state, so our local residents don't have any say-so over these changes that are coming through. And that's not just this, it's just across the board. Fiscal impact with no local control makes absolutely no sense at all. And it could, depending on what it is, it could just affect the communities and the character of those communities. So we incorporated that into our legislative agenda about not only unfunded mandates, but mandates such as this that have consequences to them, unforeseen consequences. So to that end, I just wanted to get that on record. If this has a July 1st effective date, and I assume every one of these changes at this time, we're only doing that to adhere to the new ordinance, right? Everything that's being required here is based on the new requirements that the state is dictating we have to put into effect by July 1st, 2027.
What
I'll ask
we-
our city attorney, is that correct?
So the new code section is not effective until July 1, 2027, but it does provide that localities can enact ordinances prior to July 1, 2027. So we do have the latitude to act now instead of waiting until 2027.
So if by acting now, all we're doing is enacting what the state is going to mandate in July 27. I mean, it's great to get ahead of it, but I'm also thinking if I'm in a neighborhood, explain to me if this is possible. If I'm in a neighborhood and that neighborhood does not have an HOA, we've determined that an HOA with a deed restriction will trump the state's requirement to do something. So if I lived, hypothetically, if I lived in a neighborhood that did not have an HOA, could you feasibly create an HOA and put that restriction in there before the July 1st, 2027 deadline, which would prohibit the accessory dwellings under this new code?
I'm not competent to answer that question.
You know me, I'm always scheming about something. But, you know, I'm not sure I understand the advantage of us moving on this thing this quick. You know, we have good ordinances in place right now. The only thing we're doing is opening it up earlier to allow these, but if it's feasible that a community before the July 1st deadline could amend their HOA to prohibit that, then I think that's something we need to think about. That's just me, but, you know, we're basically going to take that option away from the HOA because we've passed it ourselves and made it a local ordinance. So, I don't know, I mean, I have a hard time supporting it. I mean, if it's going to happen anyhow, you really don't have any choice. I mean, it's in the matter of making a decision as to whether it's going to happen. It's a matter of what's the upside to doing it today versus doing it before July 1st of 2027. Unless everybody agrees that's what we want to do, we want these to happen, rather than maybe giving the neighborhood the opportunity to amend their HOA if the folks in those neighborhoods do not want this to happen. So that's just my thoughts on it. But I don't think any more discussion. Councilmember Johnson.
Mayor, I never would have approved it if I didn't think that it was good. I think that this is a good thing. I mean, and that's why I think it needs to move forward. It's something, it will take it off of our plate. We don't have to have a CUP. We don't have to do this every single time we want to allow somebody to build a mother-in-law suite.
That's
And
true, but
I
that's
think
good.
it's a property rights owner anyway. I mean, I think it's a property rights decision, but that's fine. We've got a motion and a second on the floor.
We do. And I'll say one more thing and then we'll vote. Lost my train of thought now. I'm not saying there's not a need for it, but I think what we're doing is taking away individuals possibly having the opportunity in their communities, if they wanted to amend or their existing HOA or form an HOA, if the will of the folks that live in that neighborhood do not want the proliferation of auxiliary structures. If I lived in the neighborhood, I would like to have the option to do it. And anyhow, that's all I'm going to say about it. We got a motion on the floor for approval and a second. Councilmember Rector.
Thank you. Since our leading attorney at the dais, it is not a real estate attorney or whatnot, I'd like to maybe offer a substitute motion that we maybe delay the vote on this for 60 days or whatever, July through the August meeting, and allow opportunity to research the question as to whether or not homeowners associations would be able to, after the fact of July 1st, 2027, be able to enact something in their homeowners association that would place a restriction on these if that was their desire, or whether a neighborhood wanted to form an HOA specifically for that purpose. I know that sometimes we've had some complaints from these ADUs, and the reason why we have the thing in place about the renting to them is because people rent them to folks, and you know, it just may create an incompatibility situation with either with, you know, the existing home or sometimes with other things in the neighborhood, because they have tried to turn them into short-term rentals. So anyway, I would just offer that as a substitute motion so that these questions can be addressed. I understand that we are going to have to enact this eventually because the state law is going to trump us. But, you know, maybe we ought to give the public and everybody else a little bit more time to possibly react to this.
So you want to state your motion to specifically for that purpose and for the time frame? Is that right? I'm getting a stink eye over there.
So I want to just clarify one thing. There isn't going to be an attorney that can give you a report to tell you whether or not a homeowners association or a group of homeowners can form a homeowners association. That group of homeowners would have to get their own counsel to make that determination or advice. We can't give ad hoc legal advice like that. It would need to be an attorney-client relationship. So I just wanted to make sure that you weren't going to expect any attorney to give you a report on that. That's not going to happen.
Thank you for that disconcerting news. But you know, I will still keep the motion on the floor to delay the vote for 60 days to allow perhaps some more input into this thing, either from the public or from any other interested party. I know sometimes these ordinance text amendments get overlooked on the agenda. But, you know, if the motion to delay the vote 60 days doesn't pass, it doesn't pass.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor to table this for 60 days, which would be the second meeting or thereabouts, second meeting in August. Let me see if we can get a date there. That would be tabled to August 19th. Vice Mayor Ward.
Is this designed for all neighborhoods? You keep talking about neighborhoods. You said it so many times. Is this designed for all the neighborhoods? That has civic leagues and all that, but now we want to, I mean, excuse me?
I believe it's for neighborhoods or zoning districts that allow for single-family homes. Is that accurate?
Okay. With that, I second.
Okay, we get a second from Vice Mayor Ward. Is there any discussion of that motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
So the date would be August the 19th, City Council meeting. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And the public hearing for this item was in fact closed, correct?
Would that create a new public hearing?
That's not what the motion
That's not what the motion
stated.
Okay, so
We did-
Only,
To
it's
have
this
a public
decision's
hearing.
being delayed.
to have a public hearing, we would have to keep the public hearing open or call for a new public hearing,
There would have to be a motion to call for a new public hearing.
which could be part of the original motion.
The motion would need to be amended.
Would you like to amend your motion, Councilman Rector, to allow for a public hearing? Well, hold on, I'm trying to slow you down a little bit. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I'd be perfectly happy to have the public hearing reopened.
Okay, so now we got a motion to table for 60.
No, we have so there's more procedure to it than that. So you will need a second for that amendment, and you will need to vote on the amendment before you go back to the original substitute motion. Wow.
Okay, so we had a motion on the floor to table for 60 days to August 17th. Now we're going to have another motion preceding that vote to allow for a public hearing.
So as I understand what's on the floor now, the motion to table for 60 days, there's an amendment posted to say table for 60 days with a public hearing. You could withdraw that motion, see if it's going to be continued, and then have a second motion for that.
Right, that's what I thought. Withdraw Councilmember Rector first motion, make.
No, withdraw his second motion, vote.
Councilmember Rector had the second motion.
So
That's the one that would be withdrawn and then restated with incorporating the public hearing.
Mayor, the procedure that I would recommend is that you vote to see whether or not City Council wants to delay this for 60 days, and then you can have a second motion to set a public hearing on that new date.
Okay, so the motion on the floor stands the way it is. To table for 60 days to August 17th, and if that flies, then we'll have another motion to create the public hearing. Is that correct? Whew. But there's one more thing. August 19th, I'm sorry. Okay, Madam Clerk, quick, call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett? Yes. Councilmember Johnson? No. Councilmember Rector? Yes. Councilmember Williams? Yes. Councilmember Wright? Yes. Vice Mayor Ward?
Yes.
Mayor Duman?
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 6-1 with Councilmember Johnson voting in opposition.
So, Mr. City Attorney, if we want a public hearing, we need another motion to add a public hearing. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I was right twice in a row. Okay. Councilmember Rector, would you like to make that motion? Yeah, I'm slowing you down.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we reopen the public hearing for this item.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Ward?
Yes, second.
We got a second to the motion. Any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Council. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett? Yes. Councilmember Johnson? Yes. Councilmember Rector? Councilmember Williams? Councilmember Wright? Vice Mayor Ward?
Yes.
Mayor Duman?
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7 to 0.
All right, I believe, that is our last public hearing. We'll now move to ordinances. We have an ordinance to amend Section 90-521 of the Code of the City of Suffolk concerning billing and payment, interest, liens for stormwater. And this item was continued from the June 3rd, 2026 council meeting. Mr. Manager, please provide the overview.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, Natoya Nelson, Public Works Fund Manager, will provide the overview on the stormwater utility fee ordinance amendments. I'd also note that Treasurer Andrew Owen is with us in the audience if you have any procedural or billing questions.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, city manager, and staff and guests. This is an ordinance to amend Section 90-521 of this Code of the City of Suffolk concerning stormwater utility fees. This amendment allows the city, to bill properties that get added to the stormwater program after July 1st. The changes are highlighted. When developed properties are brought into the utility, fees will accrue and be billed in the next billing cycle, having been prorated from the date of the certificate of occupancy. In the event of alterations or additions to developed property, which increase the amount of impervious surface area, the utility fee will be adjusted in the next billing cycle upon either the date of the certificate of occupancy or upon the completion of construction where no certificate of occupancy is required. In the event of alterations or reductions which result in a decrease in the amount of impervious surface, the utility fee will be adjusted on December 1st for those alterations occurring between July 1st and December 1st. Alterations or reductions occurring after December 1st shall be adjusted on July 1st. So this change essentially allows us, again, to bill new persons who are coming into the program. Prior to this amendment, any new additions would have to wait until the following fiscal year to be added. Thank you. Are there
Thank you,
any
council.
questions?
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, thank you very much for your presentation. The ordinance has been presented for your council's consideration. What's your pleasure? Councilmember Wright.
Move to approve.
I'm sorry, got a motion for approval? Councilmember Williams.
Second it.
Second from Councilmember Williams. Any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett? Councilmember Johnson? Councilmember Rector? Councilmember Williams?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ward?
Yes.
Mayor Duman?
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7 to 0.
Our next ordinance is an ordinance to amend Section 70-58 and 70-124 and 70-173 of the Code of the City of Suffolk concerning civil penalty schedule, placement of city-issued automated containers and recycling containers for collection and billing, payment, interest, and liens for solid waste. This item was also continued from the June 3rd, 2026 City Council meeting. Mr. Manager, please provide the overview.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, Ms. Nelson will walk you through this proposed amendment to the solid waste ordinance as well.
This is an ordinance to amend Section 70-58, 70-124, and 70-173 of the Code of the City of Suffolk concerning civil penalty schedule, placement of automated containers, recycling containers for collection, and billing and payment for solid waste. Section 70-124 pertains to the placement of containers. The changes are highlighted. Occupants in the downtown influence area shall remove all containers before 10 a.m. on days of collection. Businesses located on the north side of West Washington Street between Saratoga Street and Main Street are required to place their refuse containers in an area designated by the city manager or their designee. That area is behind 123 North Main Street. The compact trash truck can get to the containers there, and signage has been placed. It reads, "Trash cans only, no parking." An aerial view also identifies the building. It is the old SunTrust building for those who are familiar. Section 70-173 amendment allows the city to build properties that get added to the refuse program after July 1st. Billing in the service for the service fee shall be rendered in arrears on a prorated basis to all chargeable persons and shall represent charges for each day of the preceding billing period of refuse and recycling services, with penalties and interest added as stated on the bill. When properties are brought into the refuse program, service fees will accrue and be billed in the next billing cycle, having been prorated from the date of the certificate of occupancy. In the event of alterations or additions to properties in the refuse program, which increase the number of billing units, the service fee will be adjusted in the next billing cycle upon either the date of the certificate of occupancy or upon completion of construction where no certificate of occupancy is required. In the event of alterations to properties in the refuse program, which reduce the number of billable units, the service fees will be adjusted upon completion of demolition permit final inspection. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Council, any questions? Comments? If not, ordinance is, oh, did it again. Councilman Rector.
Sorry about that, Mr. Mayor. But I was just taking a look at this thing under section 170-124, paragraph C. It says occupants of properties located within the downtown influence area as designated in the adopted downtown master plan, and I live in the influence area, as it may be amended from time to time, shall remove all containers before the hour of 10 a.m. on days of collection. They don't come through my neighborhood until after lunch. So if I am required to remove my container before 10 a.m., I'm going to have to put it back in my shed full. So I'm not quite sure where the 10 a.m. came from, but that needs to be adjusted, unless I'm reading this incorrectly.
If I could make a suggestion, you can see that 12 p.m. was scratched out.
Mhm.
So if you want to amend it to go back to its original time frame, that would allow for more time in case we're running behind, or to give residents or businesses more time.
Yeah, and I would, you could even move it to 10 p.m., but like I say, the trash truck doesn't come through my neighborhood until 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. What's that?
Do you want to,
Yeah, like I said, I'd be happy to amend it to 10 p.m. as opposed to 10 a.m. on the day of collection.
That needs to be in a motion
I'm
to
sorry.
approve with the amendment.
Thank you for making that, verbalizing what. Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to amend the ordinance 70-124, paragraph C, to change the removal of all containers before the hour of 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on the days of collection.
okay, we got a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Councilmember Williams.
Second that, Mayor.
Second from Councilmember Williams. Any discussion of the motion?
They don't come through my neighborhood until then. I mean, I put it out in the morning and it's after, well
Councilmember,
after lunch.
right,
before the trash
hit,
truck
hit your
comes
button and I'll recognize you and everybody can hear what you're saying. Okay, here you go. Your turn.
I said that 10 p.m. seems late to have your trash can out.
in. Would you like to suggest a different time?
Somewhere in between, I guess, the 12 p.m. and the 10 p.m.
How about 6?
I think that's
I
reasonable.
like 6.
Because that gives people time,
Yeah.
if they get home from work, to pull it in. But 10, Some folks will leave it out to the next morning.
You're right, so that's 10 o'clock, I ain't back.
Till 6.
Some of them don't pick it up.
I'm perfectly happy to accept that amendment. Like I say, 10 a.m. was just too early because, to be honest with you, the trash will not have been picked up.
So you
by
want
then.
or you want to amend your motion to 6 p.m.?
Yeah, so I'll amend my motion to say 6 p.m.
Councilmember Williams.
Just so the record is clear, is that to approve the rest of the ordinance as written?
Yes, thank you. Councilman Williams, you have a comment?
Second.
And we got a second from Councilman Williams. I was really thinking about 5:30, so, but no, I'm just kidding. All right, we got a motion on the floor. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett? Councilmember Johnson? Councilmember Rector? Councilmember Williams? Councilmember Wright? Vice Mayor Ward?
Yes.
Mayor Duman?
Yes.
Motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
Okay, thank goodness, that's our last ordinance. We'll be moving to resolutions, staff reports. We do have a motion to have the City of Suffolk's Planning Commission draft an amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance to prohibit data centers as a use in all zoning districts. Do we have any discussion of the motion? Councilmember Rector.
No, but I'll make the motion
For approval, I assume?
for approval.
For approval, we have a motion for approval. Councilmember Wright.
Second.
We have a second from Councilmember Wright. Is there any discussion of the motion? If not, before we vote, I think this is the right thing. We do learn through our experiences when emerging industries, let's say, get ahead of our local policies, and this will give us the opportunity to get our local policies in order and ensure that if there is any future data center development, that it will only be after we get the proper safeguards established to protect the environment, our infrastructure, our taxpayers, and the quality of life. So with that being said, we do have a motion on the floor. I do support this. We have a motion on the floor with a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett? Councilmember Johnson? Councilmember Rector? Councilmember Williams? Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ward?
Yes.
Mayor Duman?
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
Okay, we'll now move to non-agenda speakers. Madam Clerk, do we have any non-agenda speakers this evening? And if so, please explain the guidelines.
We do have non-agenda speakers this evening, Mayor Duman. Each person participating under the item of business entitled non-agenda speakers shall limit their remarks to the services, policies, and affairs of city government and shall be permitted 5 minutes for the purpose of presenting their matter. Speakers appearing before City Council will not be permitted to participate in the following activities: to campaign for public office, engage in personal attacks, promote private business ventures, or use profanity. Speakers who violate these rules will be declared out of order by the presiding officer and will immediately yield the floor and be seated. Our first speaker is Dr. Valia Rose, 168 Preserve Way, representing self, regarding the preserve at Lake Mead.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, City Manager. Today is now the 8th time that I've come before you regarding my concerns within my community, the Preserve at Lake Mead. The last time I was here was May 6th, and I had a sense of urgency because our community was transitioning from developer-led homeowners association to a resident-led homeowners association. So that vote has occurred. We now have a resident-led president and executive board with a 60-day transition period for the developer. But I still just have a lot of concerns. And the last time I was here, I don't recall which council member specifically said, we really need to understand what's under the city's purview versus what's under the homeowners association's purview. And that wasn't the first time that was said. So I've done a little research to help answer that question. I've also created a little slide deck for each of you, including you, Mr. City Manager, so that you'll each have one, and you as well, City Clerk. So I'm just going to walk through that really briefly, just a kind of reminder on how we got here and what I understand does fall under the city's purview. So I moved in my neighborhood in April 2022. It is a clustered subdivision. The developer received a bonus density through a CUP by having active open space. That active open space means that the city does not have to provide parks within the neighborhood, and your UDO section 31360 says, hey, as we get new developments, there's a need for open space. However, the city doesn't necessarily have the resources to provide that. So it's an exchange of sorts. So bonus density, more homes, 39 more homes within our community in exchange for this active open space. Within the preserve at Lake Mead, and I'm sorry, actually it's a combination of active open and passive open space, but you get a larger percentage bonus for active open space. Within my community, we have 43.9 acres of active open space. And I say that, and we may not understand, well, what's the significance of that? Really, how large is that? So I did a little research. I visited the city's Parks and Rec site, and there are 15 neighborhood parks within Suffolk. 5 of them are 1 acre. There are only 2 neighborhood parks that are more than 10 acres. That is Cypress Park at 30.6 acres and Lake Kennedy Park at 19.9 acres. So that means that the preserve at Lake Mead has twice the amount of active open space as the second largest neighborhood park in the city. Looking at the regional parks, the smallest of which is Bennett's Creek at 56.8 acres, my community has 77% of that size. That's how much space we're talking about, just in my neighborhood alone. So this question of, well, what falls under the city's purview? I submitted 2 FOIA requests, one asking whether or not there had been any amendments, modifications, approved changes to the engineering plans since I had last FOIA'd the engineering plans, which was November of '24. The answer was no. And I also asked whether or not any bond money for recs and park and recs had been released. And there was no affirmative information there. But I did get an email exchange, and I also received the city's letter of deficiencies on open space. And it specifically mentions the trails as well as the athletic field. So I'm going to focus right now on the trails. I've provided the specifications of the trails as outlined in the approved plans, and as well as pictures of the trail that I took today. There's erosion of the trail, there are weeds of the trails. Why am I so focused on the trails? Because the trail is 3 miles long. Some time ago, I came before you and I said that I didn't think stone dust trails worked. Well, I stand corrected. I visited Lake Mead Park Trail near the pickleball court, and I have pictures of those as well. And that trail looks nothing like the trail in my community. So when I come here and ask about the trail, one, it does fall under your purview, and you have the ability to look at the trails before bond money is released. I've done just a rough estimate for the cost of putting asphalt over the existing trail, and this was just Google. You know, what is the cost to install a walking trail made of asphalt that's 3 miles long and 6 feet wide over a 6-inch deep gravel trail? And the estimate was between $250,000 and $475,000, which turns out to be between $1,500 and $2,800 per home within the community. This is an extra tax that we would have to pay on something that should have been done as part of the approved plans. So I beg of you, before the bond money is released on the trails, which falls under your purview, please have someone come and look at them. Please come and look at the erosion. Please come and look at what the trails look like, because it looks nothing like what the city has done and what the city is capable of doing, as evidenced by the trail at Lake Mead Park. We're not asking more of the developer. We're not asking him to exceed some standard. We're only asking that he meet the standard that the city set for itself in the walking trails that you provide to your residents. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Kathy Russell, 3005 White Marsh Road, representing self regarding recycling.
Good evening, Mayor Duman, Vice Mayor, and City Council members and City Manager. Again, I'm Kathy Russell. I'm a resident of Suffolk. I am retired from TFC Recycling. For the last 22 years, I've worked there as an educational outreach. I'm very concerned about what's happening with the recycling program. I was told just a couple of weeks ago that we knew that the program was going to end on June the 30th. My concern is AMP Robotics is estimated to not be fully operational until July of 2028. I'm concerned of what's going to happen with our municipal solid waste. Is it going to go to the landfill, or is it going to be recycled? I just feel like there needs to be transparency of what's going to happen to our solid waste that we're going to take to the curb in a one-can system until they get fully operational in July of 2028. I feel like that we need transparency. Many of y'all may know that the city of Portsmouth and the city of Chesapeake is constantly taking it now to AMP Robotics, and they're at full capacity or almost full capacity. What's going to happen when Suffolk starts taking all the one cans throughout the whole city to AMP Robotics, which is not going to go to AMP Robotics because they're full? Is it going to go to our city landfill? We keep talking about that the city wants to preserve the landfill. I don't think it's going to be preserved if we start it now versus starting it, say, in 2028. I just feel like we've gotten the cart before the horse. Guys, I'm really disappointed. Again, I consider myself a subject expert on trash and recycling because I've been at TFC for 22 years. I am not talking for TFC. I am retired and enjoying every day of my life, and every day is a holiday. I will just say that. But I am concerned that if we do it right now, where is our municipal solid waste going to go to? It's going to go straight to the landfill with all those recyclables. We know that bottles and cans can be recycled. Aluminum cans can be back on the shelf in 60 days. Cardboard is recycled. For every cardboard that we recycle, it takes the 7th time that we cut a tree down. Y'all know we've got a lot of developments in this area, a lot of warehouses in this area. We're cutting down a ton of trees. If we don't recycle our cardboard and it becomes compostable because it's so dirty, we can't recycle it, I'm just really concerned. And I'm concerned as a resident of the city of Suffolk. Again, I've lived here almost 48 years. I am concerned what we're doing. I know we've got to preserve landfill space, but we've also got to reserve the natural resources that the good Lord has given us. So thank you for talking to me. And Mayor Bennett, Councilman Bennett, you are my councilman. We have a running joke that he is my city councilman, and he does listen to me. But again, please consider this. If we do extensions, what do we got to do? We got to think about, we can't do it right this second. When's 2028 it's going to be? And when are they going to be at full capacity? And when are they going to be able to be up and running 100%? We've got a lot of unknowns, and I think, really we need to really consider it. Extending it, what are the other options? Anyway, thank you for listening to my rambling, and thank you for allowing for me to speak about what I'm very passionate about because, again, I've been teaching this for the last 22 years before retiring. So thank y'all very much.
Our last speaker is Brandon Randleman, 149 West Washington Street, representing self regarding ICE facilities attempting to come to Suffolk.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing?
I am before you again because of the ICE facility. This time, as you all are aware, recently it came to the attention of the media that the city of Suffolk had accepted a donation from the Hispanic Chamber of Coastal Virginia. Presently, the Hispanic Chamber of Coastal Virginia, its president is Johnny Garcia. As you all are aware, Johnny Garcia is the gentleman that is leading the efforts to try to get a ICE facility here in the city of Suffolk. So the fact that the City of Suffolk Parks and Recreation Department would accept a donation from this gentleman's organization that, by the way, has not given to our city's events in the past during a period in which he has business before the city, raises the very notion of some type of, or can raise the very notion of some type of improper conduct. Because if one has business before the city, and if one has a controversial business before the city, I have to ask the city, why would they accept the donation from an organization in which he's the president of? It is my understanding that because it went to Parks and Rec and it went to Thank God It's Fridays Festival, you have to understand that if ICE comes into Suffolk, it is these very festivals they target all around the United States. They literally camp out around these festivals, and then they run into them as people are walking out, and they grab them and separate them from their family. So why would we take a donation for a family-friendly festival from an organization in which the president is leading the efforts to try to get ICE here in Suffolk? Recently, Mr. Johnny Garcia stated that that it's no detention center, it's no processing center. They're just seeking office space. We don't want office space with ICE. We don't want detention centers with ICE. We don't want ICE here in the city of Suffolk. And because this is, again, going into Parks and Rec, I've spoken to city council members. I want to thank Councilwoman Wright, Councilman Williams, and Councilman Bennett. They have taken numerous of my calls. They have taken my concerns back to various city officials. They have responded back to me, and I'm so thankful and grateful for their leadership in this effort as well. Councilman Ward, I've spoke to you a few times about this as well, but I'm very thankful, especially to those three specifically who have really taken our calls, because I just can't for the life of me understand this. Now, I thank the council members for one reason, because they can only take it back to the city manager, because this falls underneath the Parks and Rec Department. And so therefore, I can only ask the city manager to do the right thing, that all money is not good money. All money is not good money. It's not worth it. It's not worth the publicity, the bad publicity. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. ICE has tore communities apart. And anybody that wants to associate themselves with trying to bring an ICE facility here, even after the zoning administrator said that he would need a CUP, this man still says the project is under consideration. He will not accept the fact that we don't want ICE here in the city of Suffolk. So to accept a donation from a man who doesn't even care about what the people of the city of Suffolk are saying, just so he can save face, it's not right. And Mr. City Manager, I respect you, and we've had great conversations. I respect your city officials. I brag about Suffolk all the time. Anyone would tell you, wherever I'm at, I talk about how good I've worked for a whole lot of dealt with a whole lot of cities, and I can tell you this one is easy going, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it, ruin the reputation. And I know that the city manager cares about this city. I know that the mayor, I know the council members do, but this decision is left in the hands of the city manager. Give the donation back and say we do not want to be associated with anyone that is still trying to bring an ICE facility here in Suffolk, because it just shows that he's trying to. One can almost think that Garcia is trying to utilize a donation while he has business before the city. I'm not going to say what it could be. I'm just saying what it looks like. He has business before the city. His business is very controversial. And now, all of a sudden, he's never given to our projects before. Now he is giving to our city and giving to a festival that's for our citizens, a festival that's near my home that I often go to the left and walk out to. And I can tell you, I do not want to see ICE near my home when I walk out to those parks. So I ask this council to speak to the city manager. I asked the city manager to please do the right thing. I enjoy working with you. I enjoy working with each and every one of you. We don't want anything with ICE here in the city of Suffolk. Thank you.
That concludes the speakers, Mayor.
Okay, we'll now move to new business. Madam Clerk, do we have any additions to tonight's agenda?
We have one addition to this evening's agenda. The following individuals have been nominated for appointment to the Paul D. Camp Community College Board effective July 1st, 2026. Jennifer Bivens and Clark Cooper.
Council, a motion would be in order. Councilmember Johnson.
So move.
Got a motion for approval from Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Bennett.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Bennett. Any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Rector. Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Wright. Vice Mayor Ward. Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
Before we move to announcements and comments, do we have any new business items that anyone on council would like to bring forward for consideration? Hearing none, at this time, I'll ask if the Communications Department has any announcements.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, Mr. City Manager. I'll begin tonight's announcements with an exciting new face. Meet Charlie Toucan, the city's newest refuse ambassador. Charlie is helping spread the word about the city's new recycling initiative. The City of Suffolk is making changes to its curbside recycling program, and beginning July 1st, using SIPS Sort, residents no longer need to separate recyclables from their household trash. Instead, all materials can be placed together in your collection cans, making recycling easier and more convenient than ever before. Residents are encouraged to use their blue can, green can, or both for all of their household waste. To quote Charlie Toucan, 2 cans, no sorting. For more information, visit suffolkva.us/SIPSA-sort. The City of Suffolk will observe the Juneteenth holiday on Friday, June 19th. City offices will be closed for the day and will reopen at 8:30 a.m. on Monday, June 22nd. Trash and recycling collections will operate on its normal schedule, and Suffolk Transit will offer free fares and operate as usual. The City of Suffolk is proud to recognize the employees who recently participated in the annual ADP Corporate 5K held in downtown Norfolk on June 3rd. 30 city employees represented Suffolk in this regional event, demonstrating teamwork, wellness, and community spirit both on and off the course. Events like these promote healthy lifestyles while strengthening relationships among organizations across Hampton Roads. Thank you to the HR department for organizing, and congratulations to all who participated and represented Team Suffolk. This week, the Public Works Department and the city joined communities across the country in recognizing Waste and Recycling Workers Week, taking place June 15th through June 20th. Every day, Suffolk's refuse and recycling professionals work behind the scenes to help our neighborhoods remain clean, safe, and healthy. We extend our sincere appreciation to all of our refuse team members for their dedication, professionalism, and commitment to serving the Suffolk community. And registration is now open for this year's National Night Out. Community registration will close on July 20th, and the National Night Out celebrations will take place across the city on Thursday, August 6th. Please note that the Thursday date change is different than the usual Tuesday each year, and this is due to the upcoming primary elections. Residents are encouraged to register their neighborhood events and join the City of Suffolk in building a safer, stronger community. For more information, visit suffolknno.com. And Suffolk Parks and Rec is inviting residents of all ages to get outside, get active, and play all week as part of the Virginia Recreation and Park Society's statewide Play All Day Virginia initiative. From June 21st through June 27th, Suffolk Parks and Rec will offer a variety of free activities and programs designed to encourage healthy lifestyles, outdoor recreation, and family fun. The initiative highlights the importance of play for people of all ages, abilities, and interests while showcasing the many parks, programs, and recreational opportunities available throughout Suffolk. All activities are free and open to the public with no registration required. Residents are encouraged to visit suffolkparksandrec.com for a complete schedule of events. And while we're looking ahead to summer fun, Suffolk Parks and Rec is also excited to announce the return of the city's annual Stars and Stripes Spectacular on Saturday, July 4th at Constance Wharf Park and Marina. This year's celebration holds special significance as Suffolk joins communities across the nation in commemorating America's 250th anniversary. The next community event will feature, the free community event will feature live music from the Fuzz Band beginning at 6 p.m., followed by the spectacular fireworks display over the Nansman River at 9 p.m. In addition to the concert and fireworks, attendees can enjoy food vendors, family-friendly activities, bounce houses, face painting, yard games, and a commemorative 250th anniversary water bottle giveaway while supplies lasts. Note that there is no on-site parking and that a free shuttle service will be provided from the First Baptist Church and the Godwin Courthouse building. For more information, visit SuffolkParksandRec.com. And before we leave Parks and Recreation, residents are reminded that the TGIF concert series continues this Friday evening at Downtown Festival Park. This week's performance will be Raj Jazz. The free concert begins at 6 p.m. and offers a great opportunity to enjoy live music and kick off the weekend in the heart of downtown. Attendees are encouraged to bring a lawn chair or blanket and enjoy an evening of great entertainment. And additionally, Parks and Rec is also looking to the future and inviting residents to help shape an important community asset as they are hosting a public input meeting for the former Driver Elementary School site on Wednesday, June 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Bennett's Creek Rec Center. Residents will have the opportunity to share ideas and provide feedback on how the site can best serve the community moving forward. For more information on any of these events, visit SuffolkParksandRec.com. As Suffolk prepares to celebrate Juneteenth, the city is proud to partner with Saratoga Dreamers for the second annual Juneteenth celebration. The event will take place this Saturday, June 20th from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Downtown Festival Park and will feature live entertainment, food, vendors, community organizations, cultural experiences, and family-friendly activities. Residents are invited to come together to celebrate culture and community during this special event. And Suffolk Tourism is pleased to announce the official reopening and ribbon cutting of the Seaboard Station Railroad Museum this Saturday, June 20th at 11 a.m. Located at 326 North Main Street, this historic landmark has served as an important piece of Suffolk's transportation and railroad history. Following the ceremony, guests will have the opportunity to tour the museum, enjoy light refreshments, and learn more about the role the railroad played in shaping Suffolk. And speaking of ribbon cuttings, as a reminder, the grand opening of the new downtown Suffolk Library will take place on Saturday, June 27th at 9 a.m. Located at 325 West Washington Street, the new facility will open with a ribbon cutting ceremony, tours, hands-on activities, and special programming throughout the day. Residents are encouraged to come out and experience this exciting new community resource. And the Economic Development Department is excited to share that the Hampton Roads LogistX Games were hosted right here in Suffolk and brought together logistics, manufacturing, and distribution companies to compete in a hands-on challenge that highlights real-world warehouse and supply chain skills. The competition promotes teamwork, employee engagement, workforce recruitment, and industry awareness while showcasing the region's strong logistics sector. In addition to providing networking opportunities for employers and community partners, the event supports workforce development and training initiatives that help prepare the next generation of logistics professionals. Let's take a look.
I love it. I love it. It's fun. So I'm so glad we were invited. It's a way to get to know people, just surrounding companies.
Let the games begin.
Today, we hosted the 7th annual Hampton Roads LogistX Games, which brings the leading warehouse and logistics employers to a fun competition.
Start in 5 minutes with the intros.
This event was hosted for 6 years, and then COVID hit, and it's great to see the community support after being dormant for 7 years. What are the games about? How do we get goods in our household? It starts by putting it in a box and getting it on a pallet, which is the first event. One of the boxes, you're putting 3 glass liquor bottles in, protecting it with packing materials like the goods you and I buy.
From our business, this is a lot of things that we do on a daily basis, so we're already considered experts in what we do.
Event 2, they need to carefully maneuver the pallet full of the 32 boxes. It's a timed event, so it's fun to watch them try to figure out how to maneuver without messing up.
It's a great team building exercise, compete, just get to know each other a little bit better.
The third event, each label has a barcode. They have to go old school, where they have to look through 300 SKU numbers and figure out what bin it belongs to in the rack.
Definitely a big eye-opener on how other companies communicate and how we use teamwork.
28.
I'd hope my team gets the understanding of little things matter.
4 is the box put, where they take the box that has the 3 glass liquor bottles, launch it, see how far it can go. Did they package it properly? Because you don't want the bottles to break. We hope that the employers see that it builds company pride and excitement.
The Team Spirit Award goes to NFI.
They feel like we're not only looking at them as a person in numbers, right? But we're looking at them as a family member and a team member. When I can take them out of the work environment and bring them to an area like this, it feels like, 1, we're thinking about them, and 2, they don't have to go to work today. They need to go have fun.
What I like about this the most is you get to interact with people that you've never seen before, you can connect with, and just understand the industry.
The public needs to understand that Virginia is a hub for supply chain and logistics and manufacturing. More distribution is good. It brings in the jobs required for kids graduating college. They have somewhere to go.
The workforce is key for Hampton Roads. Today's warehouse is not your grandfather's warehouse. These jobs have technology. There's opportunity to be promoted into management, and there's a lot of people here that did exactly that.
The winner is Ocean Container Solutions.
Pretty cool video. And lastly, on your screen are the ways residents can stay connected to the city of Suffolk. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Okay, we're now going to move on to announcements and comments from council. We're going to start with Council Member Wright. Bam. Oops.
Thank you, Mayor. So I wanted to start by congratulating the Nasmyth River High School girls track and field team for winning the Class 5 state championship. And I also wanted to remind everyone that Sunday is Father's Day. I know we give a lot of accolades to moms, but I'm going to put in a plug for the fathers out there to appreciate them this weekend, especially on Sunday. I also wanted to remind those in the Sleepy Hollow Borough that the Parks and Recs Department is hosting the info session for the old Driver Elementary site, and it is so important that you come and make sure your voice is heard. And the last thing I wanted to say is that governance is it's a team sport. It's a joint effort. It takes us as representatives, but it also takes the participation of the constituents. And so I encourage everyone to get in the game to ensure that every aspect is covered and that everyone is heard. And with that, I'll say good night.
Ready, Councilmember Rector.
Thank you. I'll be brief. I went to the first TGIF last Friday, and I think Island Boy was playing. It was a great night. Unfortunately, it was 100 degrees outside, but since the vast majority of the air conditioning in my house was not working, it really didn't seem all that hot to me out there. I want to piggyback on that. It is summertime. The kids are out of school. Be mindful when you're driving through the neighborhood that there's going to be a lot more activity. And just like days where we had last Friday where it was 100 degrees, when it gets hot, check on your neighbors, check on your friends. make sure everybody in your little orbit is doing well, and help them if you can. And I'm excited about the train station reopening this weekend. I look forward to that. And as I mentioned in my prayer before the start of the council meeting, this morning, we got the opportunity to pin badges on 17 new officers. And it's just another one of the many, many, many reasons our police department makes us the envy of just about every other locality in the Commonwealth. And I'm very proud of the police department, and like I say, it's just one of the reasons why civic leaders in the other cities are very jealous of what we have going on here in Suffolk, and why people want to continue to come to Suffolk. And with that, I will say good night.
Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my LW Lawn Service team and Commissioner Goodman, School Board Member Riddick, Ms. Martin, and the 14 candidates of the Commonwealth Challenge Youth Academy out of Virginia Beach for assisting me with the cleanup of Rosemount Cemetery on Saturday. The grass in some areas was 4 foot high. The cleanup went well. The cemetery looks great. We had a total of 23 volunteers. However, Mr. City Manager, I have some concerns regarding South 9th Street and Rosemount Avenue, where the water is draining and running through the cemetery. I'd like for us to maybe meet out there next week or in the weeks to come to take a look at that. Also, I want the residents in the Wellerville Borough to know that I have a new cell phone now, and I lost all my contacts. All my contacts. So if you would, if you reach out to me, please text with your information, or call and leave your information, your name, and all your information, so I can get back with you. I also have a citizen complaint of speeding in the 500 block of County Street and Lewis Avenue. If we can get just a little more police presence in that area, it would be greatly appreciated. My word for the month of June 2026 is liberation. It's the act of setting someone free from imprisonment, slavery, or oppression. And with that, I'll say good night.
Councilmember Bennett.
Thank you, sir. I'll be kind of short, I think. First, I would like to start out by thanking all the speakers that came before us tonight with the concerns and all. And Kathy, I understand exactly what you were saying. I've had a lot of calls, a lot of talking to a lot of people about the recycling, whether it's going to work or not. Y'all have put some doubt in my mind, but many people have told me that, so now I have to wait to see whether or not it actually works. So, but anyway, I heard what you said, and I appreciate your comments, and we'll see what happens. We could do what we can. Thank you. And also, I feel sorry for the lady from over there from, what's the name of that subdivision? What? Yeah. Dr. Ray. I hear you. I feel sorry for you, really, that you have to come as often as you have been coming to address your concerns here, and seem like there's not a lot being done about it. And I don't know where we as a council can do to help you, but I feel for you. But I can only do what I can allow to do through city attorney and city staff. So, but anyway, I feel sorry for you. Also, I'd like to say that the 16 police officers today, 17, congratulations to all of them. It's a great bunch of young ladies and men. And our city, I tell you, I told some people today at the badge pinning, I used to know most of the people on the police department, but now it's only a few that I know. We have a whole new police department just about over there. So y'all older ones have a lot of work to do and a lot of training to work with those young people that's coming out in uniform. But I'm sure that they will be trained to do a great job. Also, on the ICE thing, I hear you. I get calls about that too. And I'm staying focused, listen to what people have to say. And if there anything that I can do to keep being informed and informing others, that's what I'll do. So whatever I hear or have any concerns, I will share it with you. It will not be a deaf ear. Juneteenth this weekend, there's a lot of activities all over the Tidewater area. And I hope people realize, you know, the celebration and not so much stuff is going on now. You're not too safe where you go. So you have to be very careful just about even at home. So please be careful and be safe out there during the Juneteenth celebration. And to the fathers, all that have a living father, spend some time with them while you can. And I know that a lot of young people does not have fathers, but there are a lot of people out there who will take time to be father images to those people. And some of them just looking for someone to talk to and share some love with. So that's what we need to really think about when we see some of the young people. Spend some time with them and let them know that you care and that you're there to support them. And with that, oh, last thing. The new library. Gary, finally, how many years we've been waiting for this? About 20? It's been a long time coming. And I think that's Saturday, this coming Saturday is going to be a great day for the ribbon cutting. And I think a lot of people are going to be excited. It's great to have this downtown. That's something that we had started planning some years back when we built a Northern Suffolk Library. And just about everyone that was serving on that library board at that time, I don't think it's about 2 or 3 of them that's still alive. So that tell you how long it took to get this library built downtown that we was talking about 20-something years ago. So again, I hope everyone enjoy that. And with that, I will say good night.
Councilmember Johnson.
Dr. Rose, you put us on the spot. By going out and doing your homework, you've researched the Lake Mead Park path, and that was smart. And there's no reason in the world we can't take a look at what's happening in your community. I don't disagree with what you're saying. You know that. And hopefully while there's still money there, we can possibly do it right. So we'll keep on. I mean, thank you for coming tonight. You always state your facts, you bring your presentation, and what you said tonight was very much accurate from what I could see. So we'll check out on it again, I promise you. But thank you for being here. Kathy Russell, same to you. You know what I think about you. You're a good girl. We appreciate it. You've done many, many years in this city, and we've been very, very blessed with what you've given us. I have one thing to do tonight. Remember 12 years ago, the hardest thing I had to do when I came on city council was appoint somebody to planning. And I was very fortunate because a gentleman named Mills Staler was a good friend to me. And Mills said, Tim, I'll do it. Actually, Donnie Goldberg was with me, and we said, Mills is perfect. And damn if he wasn't. He's been on planning all these years and has done a tremendous job for our city. Done a tremendous job for me. I can't ask for anybody. He kept me informed, told me what was what, told me when I was right, told me when I was wrong, told me when he was right and when he was wrong. But my point being, he served us so well. He's retired. This was his last meeting this month. And it's going to be very, very hard. I almost say impossible to replace him, but we will. So there is going to be a position open on planning, and I'm going to do my very best to fill it with somebody as good as Mills Staler, because Mills has served us so well. So I just want to say thank you, Mills, in public. One other thing that I'm going to bring up because I want to, and I'm wrong, and people are going to yell at me a little bit, but If you're on Route 10 and you're going up to the stoplight on Route 10 and it says stop, stop. If you don't stop and you just, police department, watch me. If you just ooze that car forward and it don't come to a complete stop, you're gonna get a ticket. And you're gonna pay $50. Not that you shouldn't, you should come to a complete stop. My vehicle did it the other day twice, 15 minutes apart, one of my delivery vehicles. I was a little put out because I thought, well, come on, they didn't stop, but they didn't stop. But you gotta come to a complete stop. And those cameras that we have up there, the IE cameras, are gonna give you a ticket and you're gonna have to pay it. So I'm just warning you, to the public, beware. The cameras are up there for a reason, they're for your protection. But all of us make mistakes every once in a while. So just rolling through doesn't cut it. You gotta come to a stop. Every time. So just be aware of that and save yourself some bucks. And with that, that's it tonight. But
Mayor.
thank you guys so much.
Mayor.
Vice Mayor Ward?
Mayor, I'm sorry. It was a couple of things that I was running my mouth and forgot. One thing that Councilman Johnson just mentioned, I talked to the city manager about this a few days ago. A lot of people coming up to the stoplight, and they're saying that they have to ease up in order to get over the line. Is it where we can put a sign reminding people that they have to stop or something at those corners on the right turn rather than just obey the line? Just a question. Is that possible?
Can we talk after this meeting?
Okay.
Make sure I understand.
Okay,
Yeah,
but,
this is just
and the other thing, I really, this was important to me, and I forgot to mention. The pay study that we have been asking for, and that's been for just about a year. So we would like to get an update on that, of where it stands, and when we're going to be able to get it, start rolling out, because people start asking questions. And I would like for us to get some type of update on that. Thank you. That's it. Thank you, sir. You want
Okay.
to talk some more?
Yeah, just checking.
Okay.
Vice Mayor Ward?
Yes, I'd like to thank Mr. Harry Comer for his hard work that he does for the Social Service Department and listening to the people that is in this community. I think he aware of things and he get the job done. I really appreciate him. His work he have done. Matter of fact, I asked him about something and I got a call this morning at 7:30 in the morning, so he's really a man of action, and I really appreciate his leadership in this city of Suffolk. Thank him. Second thing, Dr. Rose, you say you've been here about 8 times, but one thing about when you come with dignity and very respectable, and I really appreciate that. And I rode out your community several times. Just rode out there after you speak and just see for myself. So, like the councilman just said, we might can do something. We can't do it all, but we might can do something. So be persistent, and whatever we can do, hold this councilman accountable to it, and I'll be behind you 100%. You and your husband, I really appreciate y'all. With that, I want to just say congratulations to my New York Knicks for winning the basketball championship. I had to say it. And I hope I enjoy that parade tomorrow. With that, I'll say, God bless.
Okay, I'll go ahead and wrap it up. I want to also congratulate Nesbitt River High School girls track team for their state championship. Thank Mills Taylor for his service on the planning commission, which he served as the chairman, I think, for the last 2 years of his stay on the commission. Wish him all the best in his full retirement now. I attended the American Legion number 5700th anniversary that was held at the Elks Club. I mean, just a great group of older veterans, I would say. They're more like my age. And they do a lot of work in the community outside Boys and Girls Club, Habitat for Humanity, and others. So It was a pleasure to spend some time with them and celebrate their 100th anniversary. The Suffolk Police Department badge pinning, we had a couple of council members mention that 17 new officers is awesome. And I believe, talking to the chief, maybe about 3 short of being fully staffed around that area, and got some more in a little bit. Rob's like, yeah, something like that. But anyhow, I mean, we're doing great. It was a great group of new recruits that, that's a competitive business. So when they're coming here, there's a reason. And I've always said lots of times that money is always something, but it's never everything. And so if you have the opportunity to offer something other than money, then it bodes well. Your folks are more welcome not only to join, but also to stay here. And that's a work environment. And I think the work environment makes the difference, not only within the police department and the morale that they have there, but also the fact that we stand behind them. And I think they know that after quite a few years. National Night Out kickoff was great. We had a good crowd. Handed out some new T-shirts. Everybody's pumped up, looking to see what we can do for National Night Out. So, as most folks know, that is absolutely, in my humble opinion, the greatest event that we have every year. The most rewarding all the way around to get out and to see the many neighborhoods, 27, 28 neighborhoods that participate from all ends of our vast 430 square miles. And with that being said, my quote of the night ties into National Night Out. That's why I left it last. And that quote is, "The sense of community is the most essential element in building a better world." And with that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Councilmember Williams.
So move.
Got a motion to adjourn from Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Johnson.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Johnson. Any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett? Yes. Councilmember Johnson? Yes. Councilmember Rector? Yes. Councilmember Williams? Yes. Councilmember Wright? Vice Mayor Ward? Yes. Mayor Duman?
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 8-0.
This meeting stands adjourned.